Hey, what is up? Welcome to the Iceberg Lounge, which is heard now in 10 countries all around the world. I'm your host, Thomas R.J. Ingle, and on this episode, we're going to have something different. We are going to constantly have this man with us every week recording. It is my best friend, Randy Dobbins. Randy, say hey.
Hey guys, what's up?
This week, we're going to be talking about the NY6 bowl games. And kind of go over each one of them and kind of discuss them. So, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go to, let me find it. There we go. So, the first one we're going to go over them kind of in order of the date that they're going to appear. So, on Saturday, December 28th, we're going to have the Cotton Bowl. And it'll be number 10, Penn State, with a record of 10-2, versus number 17, Memphis, who's 12-1, and they're going to be battling out in Arlington, Texas. So, Randy, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Penn State's going to win by a lot.
Really?
Because it's Memphis, you know.
But Memphis is the American champion, though.
Yeah, but you also got to remember Penn State only lost to Ohio State by 11, and only lost to Minnesota by 5. And then if they can only lose to Ohio State, who's number 2 by 11, then they're just gonna blow Memphis out.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Memphis with this one. Yeah, Penn State is kind of in the Power 5, but Memphis is a champion.
I mean, they're good, but it's just that they're Memphis, and Penn State constantly plays good football.
True. Okay, so on this first one, you got Penn State, and I got Memphis. Okay. Up next will be December 28th. It will be the semifinal of the college football playoff. It will be the Peach Bowl, battling in, honestly, I would say in LSU's advantage in Atlanta, Georgia, where we have the undefeated LSU Tigers going against number 4 Oklahoma, who's 12-1. In this one, you have LSU, who is the Southeastern Conference champ. Then you have Oklahoma, who's the Big 12 champ. And you kind of have quarterback Jalen Hurts coming back to kind of his stomping grounds, heading a new team, going against what looks to be an unstoppable LSU. Who do you got and why?
As much I want to go with Oklahoma because I love Jalen, but I want Oklahoma to win. But as much as I want them to win, Oklahoma's not good enough to beat LSU.
Yeah, I kind of, because it's hard because we're both Alabama fans, but looking at it, it's like, do you support the conference or do you support an Alabama alumni? And you're on a Facebook page, and they're, from what you said, very against Jalen.
Yeah, it's an Alabama football support group. We talk about, we post stuff about it, and I just look at the posts and stuff. But from what I've seen from people, there are some people that they support Jalen, but for the most part, about 95% of the people in that group, they're like, no, you're not a real Alabama fan if you do. He's not playing for Alabama anymore. He's playing for Oklahoma, so you need to quit supporting him. And I'm just like, he played, what, 3
3 years. Yeah, he graduated in 3 years.
He played 3 years for Alabama, and he went 26-2 as a starter.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like I support him. You know, he played great for Alabama, so I'm going to continue to support him.
Yeah, and what people don't understand is, like, even if he didn't go to Oklahoma, he couldn't have stayed at Alabama.
No.
Because he graduated in 3 years. So it's either him go and try to get in a good team in the NFL after being a starter to a backup, or transferring to another school and being able to play one more year.
Yeah.
And try to do something better. And to me, it looks like he made the right decision because
me too.
He's in the college football playoff now.
And he's been in the college football playoff for 4 years now.
Yeah, which is amazing.
He's the first player in the CFP in college football playoff history to win 2 different conference championships with 2 different teams and go to play the playoff with 2 different teams.
Yeah, and just think if he ends up going through and winning this national championships. I'm sorry, I just laughed. I have a window open and one of my cats just fell off the banister. He's okay though, he's back up. But anyway, but Jalen would be a national champion on 2 different teams. He would be conference champ on 2 different teams. And he's in the running for the Heisman.
Yeah. And if you look at it from this perspective, he's undefeated in the Georgia Dome.
I'm saying this. They usually pick the Heisman when New Year.
No, I think it's in one of the next maybe couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
It's usually right before Christmas.
Okay, because I was about to say, if it was after the playoffs and Oklahoma made it, to me, Jalen should be the Heisman.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm thinking it's before Christmas.
Yeah.
Before Christmas Eve.
But as of right now, LSU's quarterback, I think, is gonna win the Heisman when it comes to that. But even though I'm gonna root for Jalen, the 28th, my pick's gonna be LSU. They're just so dominant. What about you?
Actually, it's going to be Saturday, 8 p.m., the Heisman Trophy presentation.
Okay, so...
I knew it was before Christmas. But, I can't go with LSU. I'm going to have to go with Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm rooting for Oklahoma. Like, I'm wanting Oklahoma. But I'm just for picking, I'm going to go LSU. But it's one of those things to where if LSU wins, I'm going to root for LSU all the way through because of conference. If Oklahoma wins, I'm rooting for Oklahoma all the way because of Jalen.
It's one of those things where I'm wanting Oklahoma to win, but deep down I know it's either going to be a close game and Oklahoma's just going to barely pull it out. It's either going to be that or LSU's going to destroy Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Because we all thought that Georgia was going to be close and they lost to LSU by like 20 or 30 points. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
So up next, also on the 28th, there's 3 games on the 28th. Another college football playoff semifinal. It will be contested in the Fiesta Bowl in Glendale, Arizona. By the way, I've been to Glendale. It was for WrestleMania 26. That was a good event. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels main evented. It was good. We're going to have number 2, Ohio State, which is undefeated, versus number 3, Clemson, who's undefeated. Ohio State being the Big Ten champions, and Clemson being the ACC champions. Yeah, I know, quote unquote AC. Yeah, that conference is a joke, to be honest.
People want to complain that the SEC is weak. The only good team is Alabama, but I mean, constantly it's Alabama, LSU, Georgia, I would even say Auburn and Florida are good.
Yeah.
And it's just like the only good team from the ACC is Clemson, and the only people that like gave Clemson a chance this year from the ACC was what, North Carolina State.
Yeah.
I mean, from what if I remember right, Virginia is either Virginia or Tech that played them in the ACC championship game, and they got like blown out.
Well, here's a stat that's interesting. If you go as of right now, the ACC's record this season for all the teams winning losses is 93-77.
Jesus.
And if you rank all the conferences.
Does that include Power 5 or all the conferences?
All 10 conferences, and I even include independent in there. The ACC would rank 5th in the Power 5.
Ugh.
Where the SEC was 99-71, and they ranked first. And Big Ten being second.
I'm putting all the blame on Tennessee and Vandy.
Yeah, poor Tennessee. I'm glad that radio guy didn't have to stay up on that roof for long. Remember, there was a radio guy that said, "I'm going to stay on this roof until Tennessee gets a win."
Yeah.
And luckily, he got a win very soon.
Before they played UAB, I said I made a joke to where, and I stood by it too. If UAB beat Tennessee, that UAB could take, I would put UAB in the conference, and they would take Tennessee's spot.
Yeah, but like after seeing how UAB lost in Conference USA, like they got demolished. But so it's Ohio State, Clemson. I think Ohio State's going to run over Clemson.
Clemson's trash, so I hope they get their booty whipped.
I do think Dabo might be Saban's replacement whenever Saban finally retires, though.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he's a Bama boy, so I'd want him to come home.
But to me,
it's going to be a
Ohio State is just so strong, kind of like LSU is, to where, like, Oklahoma has more of a chance of winning theirs, to me, than Clemson does.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who has Clemson really faced?
Nobody, because people complain that Alabama has weak scheduling, and I mean, even as I'm a diehard Alabama fan, and I would sit here and tell you, Bama has never had good scheduling.
Yeah,
but it's just like Clemson doesn't either. They don't play really anybody except for maybe the first game of the year.
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where Notre Dame should be in that conference, but the only reason is because of TV deals.
I want to say every other sport besides football, they're in the ACC.
Exactly, and having Notre Dame in there would help the conference, to be honest.
Not by much, but
at least give it name notoriety.
Because the only good teams in there would be Notre Dame and Clemson.
And Florida State whenever they can build back up again. Because... Well, I mean...
Build back up. It took Texas almost 10 years.
And they're still not back.
Yeah.
Like, I've argued that with people. Like, Texas hasn't been good since 2009.
Alabama put Texas in a hole, and they're just now crawling out.
And Alabama put Florida State in a hole by taking out their quarterback last season.
Yeah, Francois.
Yeah, so, I mean... It's one of those things, but who do you got? You got Ohio State, too?
Yeah.
All right.
They're gonna win by 50. I guarantee it.
All right. So now we're gonna go to December 30th. The only game that day. Well, when it comes to the big bowl games, it's gonna be the Orange Bowl in Miami Gardens, Florida. Didn't know that was a thing. Thought it was Miami, but number 9, Florida, who's 10-2. Going against number 24 Virginia, who's 9-4.
I got Florida.
I got Florida too.
Because it's just like you know who they lost to?
Who?
LSU. And Georgia. LSU being the conference champ, number 2 in the country, and Georgia being 5 and conference runner up.
Yeah.
So obviously they're playing good.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, they've only lost they played at Death Valley and they only lost by maybe 14 points.
Yeah. So that should be interesting game. It's in Florida territory, so they kind of have the advantage, unlike the Ohio State Clemson game. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go. That's an easy one, Florida. On New Year's Day, 2020, the first football game, or important football game that day, will be the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It will be number 6 Oregon, who's the Pac-12 champ. Which, let me look at my notes here.
They've only lost one game, so I think they're like 12-1.
No, Oregon's 11-2.
Ah, that's close enough.
Yeah, and
wait, who have they lost to besides Auburn?
Maybe they lost against Utah.
No, they beat Utah.
I know they beat Utah, but
yeah, they may have lost to Utah before in the regular season. Yeah.
Maybe. But when it comes to the Pac-12's record this season, like it's horrible. The Pac-12 went 79-67.
Oof.
Like they're like, if I had to rank all these D1 conferences, I'd put Pac-12 down in the group of 5 and kick them out of the Power 5.
Oof.
Because the American Conference went 82-63 this season currently. Oof. And so it's like, I would put the American Conference in, kick Pac-12 out, let them earn their spot back. But they're going against number 8 Wisconsin, who is 10-3. On this one, I'll probably go Oregon.
I got Wisconsin.
Okay, why Wisconsin?
Oregon's too weak.
You think?
Yeah, they're too weak. They haven't been good since 2011.
True, but I mean,
take that back. They were good briefly when they had Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
But that is only because they had Marcus Mariota, which actually went to the same school as Tua Tagovailoa.
Really?
Yeah, I believe they went to the same school. From what I heard, I think I saw that on ESPN one day.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I think I've heard that too.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna be split on this one. I'm going with Oregon. You're going with Wisconsin. The same day, January 1st, 2020, will be the Sugar Bowl. In New Orleans, Louisiana. New Orleans. Number 5, Georgia, who's 11-2, kind of having the home advantage, it being in the South, going against number 7, Baylor, who's also 11-2. But Baylor is second under Oklahoma in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Where Georgia is also second in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, because if I remember right, the rules for the Sugar Bowl is usually it's the winner of the SEC, unless that winner of the SEC goes to the CFP, and the Sugar Bowl isn't in the CFP that year.
Yeah. This is going to be surprising. Like, I want the Southeastern Conference to do good, but I'm going Baylor. I think Georgia's overrated.
Yeah, they are. They're always overrated.
I'm
going Baylor too, because it's just like every year is Georgia's quote unquote year. They're the almost team. They almost beat Alabama in the national championship game. They almost beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. Then this was supposed to be their year. They're supposed to win the SEC title, go back to the playoffs. But they got blown out by LSU.
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where, like you said, they're the almost team, but Georgia in general, I don't know what the deal is with that state, but the Falcons are an almost team in the NFL. And then you have the Braves. And so I don't know what's in the water in Georgia, but they got almost juice.
It's just like, as much as I love the Braves, though, it's just like I know that they're bad. They almost win.
And so the final game, January 13th, 2020, the national championship game, which is also going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. Who do you got
to play in the national championship game?
Yeah. After all we've went through, who do you got?
Ohio State. And then, as much as I hate to say it, it's going to be Ohio State LSU.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting game because that right there is going to be LSU's home game.
Yeah, because you know what happened the last time they played in that stadium?
What?
Alabama beat them 21-0. They didn't even cross the 50-yard line once.
True, but also, I mean, this is a different LSU than last time.
Yeah, true.
Like, they're probably going to have the Heisman quarterback. They're probably I'm going to call it right now. LSU is going to be the first undefeated national champion in this era. In the CFP.
You're a little too late on that. Clemson was last year.
Oh, yeah.
15-0.
Oh, yeah, because it was...
Because both Alabama and Clemson was undefeated last year. And then...
Yeah, because it was who was going to do it, yeah.
Who they're going to do it first. Because, ironically, the last team to go 15-0 in college football history was also Clemson. Back in the early 1900s.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go LSU, Ohio State.
It's going to be a close game.
It's going to be a close game. I think because just of the atmosphere, LSU's going to pull it out because this is
their home.
Their home state. That place is going to be packed with gold.
Purple and gold.
Exactly. And those fans are going to be so loud. So yeah, I'm gonna go with LSU. But yeah. Yeah, this is the end of the episode of the Iceberg Lounge, the first one of this kind of new era. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to patreon.com/trji if you want to support us and fund us as we keep doing this and providing y'all content. I'll be linking all of that stuff in the description, so check that out. And hope y'all have a fun kind of bowl season. And we love you and all to God.